So getting into MMA in 2025, follow those fighters, but then don't listen to any of the discussion around them. Just
Yeah.
watch and enjoy
Just
the
watch the
things that
fight.
they're doing. Yes.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Two Fight Fans, where we talk about all things in combat sports. I'm One Fight Fan Colin.
And I'm the other Stewart.
And, well, we had a fight card this past weekend. I will straight up
Ah,
tell you, I didn't watch it. And apparently, it was fucking bizarro land when what happened.
well, yeah, it sounds like it was a dog shit card. So, are you saying neither one of us watched this thing?
Yeah. Hey, look at us doing what we
Okay.
said we wouldn't do.
Yeah, I
But
mean, so what is there even to talk about?
well, I do want to talk about a few things, like some of the results that happened. Like, what the
Okay.
fuck are we gonna do with Johnny Walker right now? Because he does this thing where he loses horribly, gets knocked out like terribly, and then we'll have like a big win, and then and then he'll lose like three more and get knocked out in like a ridiculous manner, and then he'll win, and that's exactly what he did. He fucking TKO'd Zhang Mingyang. So
Mm-hmm.
what do we fucking do with him? Light heavyweight's a fucking mess already. What are we gonna do with this guy?
To strategically deploy him to Kansas to
Uh,
bang every person in Kansas. Uh, I don't know. Who
uh,
cares? Who cares what we do with Johnny Walker?
all right, that's fair.
Uh, like, no, who cares? I mean, they could cut the entire light heavyweight and heavyweight division. I've said this before, and it wouldn't really make a difference to the quality of the UFC. So, uh, I don't know. The fucking cut him. Who
Just kind
cares?
of even after you win.
Yeah, I don't wish ill upon him specifically. I just am I don't care.
Yeah.
So, and
Also,
neither should any fight fan really. Yeah. So that's what we
also,
do with him.
all right. That's sure, sure. Did you see the video of Brian Ortega during his weigh-in?
Yeah, he looked
He
terrible,
looked
huh?
terrible. Like, how
Yes.
did they let him fight? He looked like he was like a fucking like zombie and like riddled with disease. Like, what was happening?
It's when you believe in terrible bro science and believe that birds smash off their beaks and shit. I was telling you. Well, he came in 8 pounds over, and then they did a catch weight at 153. Um, so he probably can't make 145 anymore, and Lord knows if he can even make 155.
Yeah.
Uh, like I said, this might be the last fight for Brian Ortega, and from what I gathered from the internet, the little I see on the internet about the UFC nowadays, this was a terrible fight and took place mostly on the feet, and he got outstruck by Aljamain Sterling. So
Ooh, what? That's not good.
no, not good at all. So another one where if you were to ask me, what do I do with extras in a Hallmark movie or something? I don't know,
Oh,
not
Jesus.
not have them fight professionally. I don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Your boy
Anything
also
else?
well, your boy Loner Kavanaugh got knocked out.
Yes. Okay, hold on. I did watch this fight. I did
Okay,
watch the
okay.
full fight. Uh, Lorna Kavanaugh was piecing up Charles Johnson initially, just
Oh.
like Josh Van was piecing up Charles Johnson. And then Charles Johnson comes back and beats the shit out of Lorna Kavanaugh. And it was pretty impressive. Did you see the knockout?
No, I didn't. I just saw the results, and I was like, "Wait, what the fuck? How'd this
It was
happen?"
yeah. Charles Johnson, man, he goes back to his corner after the first round. You just got to throw more punches. And you know what? By God and by golly, that's exactly what he does. And it turns out with, I think, a left hook, he just flatlines Leonard Kavanaugh.
Wow.
Because Leonard Kavanaugh is very good and was countering super well, just kind of like Josh Van, waiting and then countering and then sort of standing there to admire his handiwork, being like, all right, I fucking nailed that guy. But then Charles Johnson's like, I'm just going to throw three more punches behind that. And when you be punching and bunching, you usually win, especially
Yeah.
in MMA. So Charles Johnson again beating the young whippersnapper that we all thought was going to be this amazing up and coming prospect. And if Josh Van is prologue, hopefully Leonard Kavanaugh will learn from this and come back and be fighting for a title within a year's time.
All right.
But
All
Charles
right.
Johnson, Charles Johnson, great. Let's get him a top 10 fight. Let's have him fight Tim Elliott. Let's have him fight, fuck it, Kai Sakura. Let's have him fight. Let's have him fight somebody up there, or Kai Kara France. Why not?
Yeah. Okay.
He's earned it. Yeah. But that's the most interesting thing that happened in Shanghai. Other than that, like, who cares, man? Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah.
The
I'm
UFC
with you.
just is turned on the slop spigot, and I won't be a part of it anymore. I won't be a part of it anymore. Which brings us to a question you've posed,
Yeah.
which is, and I'll let you go first, because Lord knows I don't know how to answer this. How do you become an MMA fan in the year of our Lord 2025?
Part of me posed this question because I want to hear your take, but part of this is if one of my friends came up to me and asked, "Hey, you have a podcast. Hey, you watch a lot of this MMA shit. I might be interested in it. Like, what do I do? How do I get into this?" I
Mhm,
would immediately tell them, only watch these fighters, only watch certain fights. And
mhm.
either upcoming or past ones. So I guess like within the last year, I guess, what would be some of the fights that you would have someone watch that would be like, this is a good example of why you want to watch the sport. Like this is what makes it exciting,
In the
and
past few years?
let's just say the last year, because the past few years you're also still getting into like the weird like okay, few years I'm really kind of stretching, like with 5 years, that's like the weird Fight Island shit that happened and just all
Yeah.
the like, let's just say the last year, like starting from 2024, because then we had like UFC 300 and all these things. So are there any full cards or fights that you would point someone or fighters that you would say, hey, just watch this guy, watch this fight, watch this event because it'll get you hyped for MMA. But at the same time, adding in the caveat, you don't need to watch these next like 4 weekends of fights that are coming up. Like
Yeah.
just take your time. If you have like an hour, just watch this. You don't need to sit through everything.
Yeah. I would have them watch. I'm gonna sound like a broken record. Watch Ilya Topuria beat Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Charles
Yep.
Oliveira.
Yep.
Watch Alex Pereira fight Khalil Roundtree, and was it Ira Prochazka as well last year, or was it Ankalaev? It was just Ankalaev and Khalil Roundtree.
No, and Pereira, he also fought him at 300.
Okay, and Pereira.
Oh no, that was Khalil Roundtree. No, that was Jamal Hill at 300.
Okay, yeah, watch that. Watch UFC 300.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I would say that was a good one.
watch all of Josh Van's fights of the past year and a half. Uh, that's good. Like just watch that.
what
That's good
about
enough.
what about Dustin?
Well, when did he fight recently?
He fought Max and Benoit Saint Denis.
No. It was Islam Makhachev. Benoit Saint-Denis was 2 years ago, my man.
Oh shit, was that 2 years ago? Damn.
Yeah. So like, yeah, because I would say if back in the vault, I would say watch every Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, Eddie Alvarez fight. Right, these kind
Hmm.
of kings of violence. Watch Charles Oliveira against Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier. But we're getting further back. Then we're getting like closer to 2021 and prior.
Right.
If it's just the past 2 years, but Dustin Poirier, and you wouldn't have the story and the context if you're a brand new fight fan watching those things, right? It's like I wouldn't say watch a John Jones fight in the last 2 years. It's gonna fight
Right.
Stipe and Cyril Gane. Who gives a shit? Like that's not. Who cares? So it's gotta be the new young stars or stars that still have some sort of credibility, which means Pereira, Topuria, Josh Van. If you can fight any of Mateusz Rebeshki, because he has absolute slobber knockers, you could watch that. Trying to think of any other like underrated fights or amazing. I mean, UFC 300 as a card is great. 317, which was Oliveira and Topuria, the
Yep.
international fight week this year,
This year.
which is
Yeah,
again a
Pantoja
Josh
and Kai Kara
Van.
France.
Yeah, Pantoja, a Josh Van, a um uh
Who else
Topuria
was on
fight.
that?
Yeah, like this. So those are all good.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say.
Okay.
That's if they were interested in being an MMA fan and they wanted to kind of get up to speed over the last 24 months, That's kind of where I'd get them started overall.
A Are there any, like, major storylines that you would have people, like, follow as they're coming up? Like, we finally have Tom Aspinall becoming, like, the undisputed heavyweight champion, if he can get past Zero God, which he should. Uh, you know, Pereira trying to reclaim his title against Ankalaev, any other, like, major storylines that are coming up that are worth investing in or that are worth, looking into?
I mean, Islam versus JDM is pretty good. Overall, about like Islam Makhachev moving up in weight, doing the
Yeah,
thing that Khabib
forgot
hadn't
about
done,
that.
but like solidifying himself as a number one pound for pound, and then possibly fighting Topuria at 170 or 155. So you've got like this kind of two double weight champions fighting each other. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
The Aspinall one, you can't do the Pereira against Ankalaev to try to reclaim the belt. Other storylines. I mean, not to sell the sport. I mean, I could give the context of the right-wing turn that MMA has made recently, but
That's
like not really to sell the sport to anyone. No, because there's no one really in the women's division who has like an inspiring story that's coming up. Josh Van is cool if you've watched him over the past 2 years really rise up as like this streaking contender. Um, no, besides that, no, fuck it, right? Like
okay.
there's not a lot of storylines
Yeah.
in MMA at the moment. Um, Yeah, no, no, that would be it. It's really it's
That's
Topuria and it's
really
Josh
too
Van.
bad. I can't believe that there's not. I mean, I can't believe, but like, there are no storylines right now. Like, is that just because of who we have or the UFC's failure to develop people like that?
It's the UFC's failure. They're not building these storylines. They're building the
Yeah.
brand first over the storylines. Because Josh Van, we've called out his storyline as being this amazing thing, but like it's not getting a lot of publicity. Even Topuria's. Topuria should be getting the Conor McGregor push for his storyline of the amazing. He's an undefeated double champion. No one's ever been an undefeated double champion
Yeah.
before, right? He knocked out Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Charles Oliveira in a row. Right, he is this, like, Spanish champion, he is well loved there, he's, like, one of their biggest athletes in that entire country. He should be getting this massive push in the storyline of, is he gonna fight Islam? Is he not gonna fight Islam? Is he gonna defend against Arman, Tsarukyan? Is he gonna defend against Justin Gaethje? Like, all of these things, or they could set up a Max rematch, but they don't there's no fire to any fight that he has yet.
Yeah.
There's no conversation around it. The most storyline they have is Hamzat, but it's mostly, is he gonna last 5 rounds because of his cardio issues? Like,
Hmm.
that's not a very compelling story. Um, no, the UFC doesn't care. They are more interested in having Kid Rock and fucking Donald Trump walk out than they
Yeah.
are building actual storylines.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
the potential is there, man. The potential is all there, and they're
Yeah.
just not they're not. Even Paddy Pimblett, as much as I hate Paddy Pimblett, there's a storyline there. He was picking on Ilia Topuria and calling him out when Ilia Topuria was a 145er. He was picking on someone a weight class below him, and now that person is the champion in his weight class. There's no fanfare around. Could that be the next fight? There's no press conference between those two. There's nothing, right? And that could be a huge build. Whether it's the right fight to make or not, it would, from a press standpoint, be a massive, massive fight. And
Hmm.
they're not doing anything with it. So no, it's the UFC's fault. It's the
Yeah.
UFC's fault 100%. It's not these fighters' fault. It's the UFC's fault.
It's wild to me. Like, I know we've talked about it a lot, but I still don't know, like, how big of a star Ilya is in Spain. Like, I know who is it? The head of the who is it? Of Real
Real Madrid?
Madrid? Yeah,
Yeah.
called him and said, "Hey, I'm sorry we had a game the same time that you were fighting. We'll make sure
Yeah.
not to schedule." Like, what the fuck? Like,
I mean, he's like one of he's in the top 3 biggest athletes in Spain, which is not a comparable market, but take like what is a top 3 biggest athlete in the United States right now? LeBron
uh,
James? Like,
yeah.
we're, you know? Like we're talking serious like serious fanfare around this guy. Like imagine he's a household name. He's a household name in Spain. Like
That's wild
grandmothers
to
know
me.
his name. Yeah, and like and they're not capitalizing on it. They're not taking the UFC to Spain. They're making him come fight in Vegas. People in the United States really dislike him because they're like he's too brash. Um,
Which is a wild thing for Americans to say. They love brash, like, athletes. They love
well,
people
it's
who shit
because
talk and are confident.
he's like I know, but like a weird non-native English speaker swarthy guy. That's why. They're like, he doesn't look like a white guy, like I know it, so therefore
Like,
that's
I
cool. He's
know it.
yeah, well, because it's like he's Georgian and he's from Spain, and they're like, well, that's not Italian, so it's not cool. He's not like Rocky, he's not Irish, so therefore, fuck him, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
that's literally I think what's going on. Um, and then there's also this thing of like everyone. It's been a really weird turn where everyone fucking gobbled Conor McGregor's knob when he was really brash and outspoken. And now that anytime anyone is outspoken or confident, unless they're Russian for some reason, uh, it's like, oh, they're cocky. They're too overconfident. It's like, dude, Islam Makhachev or not Islam Makhachev, Ilya Topuria is backing it up. So is Islam Makhachev. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what this issue is. With Ilya
It's weird to
Topuria.
me that there's, like, this, like, pushback on that because for so long, people have always liked that, and, like, I don't know what's changed. Like, nothing's really changed, you know?
I mean, people are more okay with being racist, and I think fandom of MMA has skewed more racist now than it has in the past. Because in the past, it used to be like
Alright.
a very, hey, I love Japanese MMA, I love Sakuraba, I love all these different things. Look at the Brazilian market, look at the Canadian market, look at the Russian market, like all these different areas. Where can we find talent? And now it's like, I either am pro Dagestani fighters or I want somebody from like a Western WASP background. Otherwise, I don't want them fighting. And you're like, this has gotten really weird. It's gotten really weird in MMA.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, getting into MMA in 2025, follow those fighters, but then like don't listen to any of the discussion around them. Just
Yeah.
watch and enjoy
Just
the
watch the
things that
fights.
they're doing. Yes.
Watch them with us
Yes.
with no commentary. Like,
Yes. Yeah. No, it is hard to like recommend or like try to get people into MMA nowadays because I mean the
I
way people look at it now is you're a weird right wing freak if you watch this sport.
yeah, I don't encourage people to watch it anymore. I don't tell
No,
really people, like
no, no, nor should you.
yeah,
Because everyone looks at you like an abs like you're degenerate. And not a degenerate in like, oh, you watch Jackass the TV show or you're into like weird shit. It's more like, oh, you're part of that right wing manosphere cult bullshit. And it's like,
yep,
no, I liked the sport way before they came and co-opted it. But at this point, it's so ubiquitous and so many of the fighters and so many of the power players feed into that shit that you're like, well, I guess actually I'm the weird guy for
yeah.
like, like it turns out that actually it was just a bunch of white supremacists who never have had sex with women who are into this shit. I'm the weirdo for wanting human rights and wanting to bang women. Like it turns out that I'm the weird guy. So, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Anything else to recommend how to get into MMA in 2025?
Nah, I if you can find it, watch One Championship because they have like banger fights all the time, you know. But like,
Yeah.
I just never know when it's gonna fucking happen.
Yeah. And it's with fight sports it's a little bit better where it's like going and watching an old baseball game is like quite literally the most boring thing a human being could do.
That
Actually, an
that's
old golf
true.
tournament would be worse, but an old baseball game is terrible. Um But going back and watching fights, and especially good fights or good fight cards, even if it's boxing, if it's MMA, if it's kickboxing, if it's sumo, these are all still very entertaining.
Yeah,
Go back.
that's a good
Go
point.
back. Go back and watch MMA fights maybe every 10 named pay-per-views on the UFC. Right? Watch something between UFC 1 and 10, 11 through 20, 21 through 30. Like just see the progression across these and you'll have hours and hours of fight cards. Go back and watch, 5 to 10 of the Pride cards. Watch the Strike Force Grand Prix. Go back and look at these things,
Watch the
because
Pride
it's
Grand
amazing.
Prix.
What's up?
Watch the Pride Grand Prix.
Yeah, hell yeah. There's great Pride Grand Prix. Like, go back and watch that stuff. And if you are interested in it after that, then you can kind of pick it up. But I think Colin's exactly right. Like, this is a sport where it wants you to believe you have to follow every fight card. And in reality, you can pick a fight card a month and be okay.
Yeah.
You know? You can pick one fight card a month. And sometimes you can pick one fight card every 2 months. Because Lord no, you didn't need to watch the Shanghai card, nor did you need to
Nope.
watch the Apex card before it. So,
Lord
yeah.
knows I didn't.
Yeah. Nor should you have. It's a waste of
Yeah.
time. It's a waste of life. We have a finite number of minutes on this earth. Don't spend it watching Johnny Walker. That's what I recommend. That's what I recommend. So yeah, that's my 2025 recommendation. I mean, the biggest thing is like don't get into MMA. I guess it's kind of like it's kind of a weird thing to say, right? Like it's kind of
Yeah.
actively taught like
I
it's
mean, you're not wrong either, like.
yeah. Well, it's weird because it's like I want the sport to get better and get back to how it used to be and have it be a better experience for the fans, a better cultural experience where it's not just right-wing nonsense shoved down our throats. But at the same time, because it's made such a hard turn, my thought is like they're not going to learn their lesson unless the viewership drops off dramatically.
Oh yeah.
So don't watch it. Don't watch it. Or if you do, be now has never been a better time to be a casual fan of MMA.
Mhm.
Like really only watching it once a year or only when Ilya Taporia shows up.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Only when like
there are always
big names show up to fight.
yeah, there were always those people that only watched when Ronda Rousey or Conor McGregor fought, which they each always fought once every 3 months. So you basically had 1 or 2 cards every quarter that had them on it.
Yeah.
And so casual fans were watching constantly. But like and we always used to berate them back in the day. What about all these other cards? What about all these other great fighters? Why are you only watching Conor? Why are you only watching Ronda? But
Yeah.
nowadays it's like, yeah, you know what? Just watch those cards. Don't
Yeah.
watch
Do you remember you and I would be like, oh, let's DVR like the Fuel TV fights on Thursday and we'll watch them together because like we were both working or like had an internship
yeah.
or whatever. We'd watch them like Thursday night at 11:30 or whatever bullshit. Like how ridiculous was that like back in the day?
Well, because there was like those cards still like mattered to the
Yeah.
landscape of the sport. They still were a thing, and they still were right. This was back when there was at most 2 fight cards a month, usually just one, and sometimes there was only 1 fight card every 2 months. Right. This is back when
Yeah.
there was 25, 20 cards a year, 30 cards a year, and now we're at what 45, 47. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's almost every week. Um, and there's just not stars to go along with it either.
No.
So yeah, that's what I'd say. Be the most educated casual fan you can be. That's probably the sweet spot at the moment for MMA. Be
Yeah.
the most educated casual fan, so you at least know who Josh Van is. You at least know who Ilya Taporia is. You know who their competitors are. You know kind of the lay of the land there. But you don't need to know who Johnny Walker is. Lord knows you do not need to know who Brian Ortega is.
Oh
Like
jeez.
you don't need to. If you just started right now and somebody's like, you don't know who Brian Ortega is? Look at them and spit in their eyes like, no, I fuck. I don't need to know who Brian Ortega
No,
is.
I
Right. Like that's what I'd say.
damn.
Yeah. So that's my advice for MMA in 2025. It's everyone's gonna look down on you if you follow the sport, but if you enjoy the sport, it's still there's no kind of like I don't want to say high, but there's no like more amazing thing than like a really great fight night
Mhm.
um, when it comes to sports. And so if you can capture that and find that, how fleetingly rare it is nowadays, like
Mhm.
enjoy it. Like I won't discourage you from that, but everyone will mock you for watching it. You have to wade into the cesspool of MAGA nonsense to watch it. So just be a casual. Just you dip your toe into this fetid pond every now and then. But don't swim in it like Colin and I.
Yeah. We'll do that for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and listen to our podcast, and we'll keep you up to date on the fact that Johnny Walker won this fight, and who cares, and that you shouldn't care, and that Brian Ortega sucks and doesn't know bird facts. Um, he's less educated than Charlie Day about bird law. Like, that's how dumb this motherfucker is, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. What other questions have we got?
Well, actually, that's a good segue because, you know, you posed a question like what makes a good fight? So if you were to watch these cards, like what are you looking for that determines it to be a good fight or worthwhile your time or worthwhile your admiration of certain fighters, maybe?
Well, I've talked a lot, so you tell me.
All right. Well, okay. For me, you and I, we're both skill boys. We appreciate the skill. Even if it's a one-sided beatdown, we still appreciate it because it highlights one fighter's like dominant skill over another, you know?
Mhm,
Like I always like for boxing, I always loved watching Lomachenko fight because even if he was like not going to get the knockout or whatever, you would still see some incredible skill from him with his footwork, his timing, his combination work. So even if the person wasn't necessarily fighting back, it wasn't like a back and forth affair, it was still like,
mhm,
wow, look how incredible this guy moves. That's something to be admired. That's something to aspire towards. You know, even if you were
mhm,
like a casual boxer, and didn't know, never really fought or anything, you would still be drawn to like the movement and it's like I don't know, it's just taking someone's skill to a whole nother level, and appreciation of that. So I always like when one of the athletes displays some sort of skill in that regards. So certain
mhm.
fighters that I mean we've talked about this at length, like Islam's ability to wrestle and always find a dominant position and also get takedowns in like very unique, skillful, but also just like, wow, you were really strong to be able to do that. And that's like we talked at length when he fought Dustin, when he got that last takedown by swinging that leg in like a crazy manner to take his back.
Mhm.
Like things like that are just one like moment of really defined skill. I really, really appreciate. So to me, regardless of whether or not the fight is back and forth or one side dominant, I like to see really, really strong skill on display.
Yeah.
That
Good.
that that for me is a good fight.
Yeah. What Colin is missing here, you could have 2 skilled fighters do their skill shit, and it's still the most boring fight because they just kind of faint, and they do nothing, and they're not really engaging. What you
Mm.
need is swings and momentum in between the 2 fighters. Now, swings and momentum between 2 drunkards in an Applebee's parking lot, not a good fight makes, right? There must be some skill to do that, but one of the most crucial facts for a good fight is swings and momentum.
Okay,
The
so I think a good
best
highlight of that then would be where if like skill creates this weird stalemate. Like an example of that would be like Anderson Silva and Izzy. Like both of them kind
Mhm.
of like the same type of style and skill set. So that each were like waiting for the other to make a mistake and not really take that risk and nothing really happened.
Right. Right. You need someone who which brings kind of the next one, which is there must be adaptations made within the
Mm,
fight,
yeah.
right? Because if 2 people are just like, "I'm gonna go in there and throw my perfect skilled overhand right at each other," and then you just have a hockey fight, you have Don Fry versus, who's that Japanese fighter that he fought where they just grab each other by the back of the neck in Pride
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
hockey punched each other, right?
That's
Um,
entertaining for a different reason though.
yeah, but I wouldn't call that a good fight, nor would
Right,
I
right.
call, like, Anderson Silva versus Forrest Griffin. Anderson Silva displaying fantastic skill beating Forrest Griffin, but I wouldn't call that a good fight because Forrest Griffin
Okay.
just got styled
Pummeled.
on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, "Well, that's not a great fight," but swings and momentum or when there are adjustments made within the fight, a great example would be Chad Mendez versus Jose Aldo number 2, where, right,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
notices Jose Aldo is dipping to his side, so then he does a feint and then an uppercut and catches Jose Aldo. So Jose Aldo can't dip to that side anymore. How does Jose Aldo react? Well, now he starts using his jab more. Because he's using his jab more, Chad Mendes has to circle around to avoid the jab more, which opens up the leg kick, which opens up the right hand, right? Like you begin to see the way that they react to one another in
Yeah.
in a sort of a building block or sequential way. Um, while maintaining that skill and having swings and momentum. It doesn't need to be drastic swings. It's not a Frank Edgar, Gray Maynard, where like one round's a 10-8 for one person, the other round's the 10-8 for the other person.
Yeah.
But there
One round,
must
someone gets
be,
dominated, getting knocked down like 2 or 3 times, and then the next round,
yeah,
the other person knocks them down. Like, that's
yeah,
entertaining for, like, the swings and momentum that you were talking about earlier.
yeah. That's what we call a slobber knocker, which we have an award for, but that's not a good fight. That's not fight of the year. You can have a slobber knocker. You can have a, what was it? Was it Thiago Santos and Jimmy Manawa, where they are like swinging haymakers with their eyes closed and they keep knocking each other down? They each knock each other down like 3 times until one of them goes to sleep. And it's
Uh,
like, that's kind of cool to watch, but you guys were fighting like a bunch of stupid assholes. So it's not like a good fight. Um, right. I want to see high level skill.
mm,
Right, I want it if I'm watching a game of horse, I want it to be Steph Curry, and I don't know anyone else who's good at three-pointers in the, NBA. But, like, I don't wanna see people constantly missing the net. I wanna see, like, amazing shots being made and, like, trying to one up each other.
mm.
Um, and that's what you wanna see in a fight. You don't wanna see Johnny Walker, which is just he throws a flying knee, and if it misses, he pulls guard because he doesn't know what else to do, and he fell on his ass. This is not high level of skill, right? The momentum swung because now he's on the bottom, but it's because he's a donkey brain man.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. Any other ingredients to a good fight?
Uh,
Skill, swings of
Skill.
momentum, and adjustments made in the fight.
Yeah, yeah, I think that okay. Actually, this discussion, what you're telling spawned a new question for me. Are there any styles that inherently will make you think, "Oh, this will be a good fight"? Like, a certain fighter has a certain approach or uh, certain skill, that is more entertaining or more prone to have certain like, a fighting style that would make a good fight for you. Like, you will
Mhm.
always watch their fights.
Yeah. There
Are there
can be
any?
some individual fighters. I would say that it's more of a like styles make fights, which is such a trite thing, but like
Yeah,
what I would say is because it's very easy to say, like, the fighting style of Justin Gaethje, which is hard nose. I'm gonna rely on my chin, and I'm just gonna go to war. Or Dustin Poirier, right? He relies on his chin, and he like really has a dogfight. But I think what's most important in their fights that are especially electric is they have a dance partner who similarly matches their style
yeah,
overall without it canceling it out. Because how many times have we seen a Ben Askren versus Damian Maia, where you're like, wow, this would be an amazing grappling fight. And they're like, well, because I'm so afraid of the other person's grappling, let's have the worst kickboxing match on earth,
yeah,
you
yep,
know? Or two great strikers who are like, let's try to wrestle because I don't want to get knocked out by you. You have to have two people who have such ingrained fighting styles that there's no way that they could acquiesce to the other version of the
mhm,
fight. And so they fight to keep it in that realm.
yeah,
Even like Conor McGregor versus Khabib is a great style matchup because it is, can this sniper destroy this
this
grappler?
wrestler, yeah,
Yeah. It's not always the like, because like pairing up a striker versus a grappler or a jiu-jitsu ace versus somebody who's terrible at defending submissions doesn't
yeah,
always mean it's going to be a good fight because it could either be really fast and boring or like they can't actually get their game going because they're both so afraid of each other's A game. You need two fighters whose A games are so similar that they're forced to kind of car crash into each other
yeah.
to try to get it going. Um, I don't know. What about you? Do you have like a particular style that you're like, that's the one that's gonna do it, or a particular fighter, and like maybe be able to say why on a deeper level their style works for
Yeah,
entertaining fights?
yeah, I like strikers that can either A, work combinations or throw strikes from different angles that maybe you're not expecting, you know?
Hmm.
So they're more than just a low round kick and a 1-2, which is actually,
Hmm.
like, pretty high skill for most MMA right now, but people who can, like,
Yeah.
attack the body, work different combinations, like, or hooks, things like that, like, that's entertaining to me.
Hmm.
Um, and also fighters who actually kick too, who do more than just a leg kick, but can like mix up different types of kicking, which
Yeah,
always like I enjoy a lot. And in fighters who attack from their back when they're on the ground, because I think MMA has
that's
moved
pretty
into
rare.
it is those has moved very much in direction of, like, if you're on top, you just advance your position and try to strike or go for like a rear naked choke eventually by taking their back. And it's just been very wrestling dominant for a long time in the MMA's history. So when you have someone who can take basically the meta of being a top game heavy fighter and use that as your advantage to attack from the bottom and make yourself dangerous, I think that's really interesting. So that's why Charles Oliveira is one of my favorite fighters, because he has dynamic unique striking and he fights off of his back really like aggressively. Now,
Mm,
my man also gets hurt a lot and has to fight off of his back, but
mhm,
but he is one of my favorite fighters for those reasons. And people who can like pass really uniquely or really fluidly, not because their
mhm.
opponent just like doesn't know how to keep someone in a guard, or stand back up, but is like able to pass to unique positions. I appreciate. Again, that goes back to the whole skill set. So
Yeah. But everything you've just like the underlying, if we take it like someone who kicks a lot and kicks with variety, is punching a lot and punching from both stances, is passing guard, is taking people down. All of this has to do with activity and the
yes,
pace of activity. So
yeah,
really it's which makes sense. The most entertaining fighters are pace fighters, people who rely on drowning their opponent in offense, who also have finishing instincts,
mhm,
right? You're talking about I mean, the Diaz brothers were the originators of this style, right? Like, even if they weren't finishing people on the feet, they were punching constantly until people wilted and then were submitted by them. You have Max Holloway, you have Tony Ferguson, you have Merab Dvalishvili, you have people that are weaponizing pace and activity overall, who
mhm,
also have the ability to finish. Because we also have people like Brandon Royval, who I love flyweights, but like throwing 500 strikes and none of them really do fuck all. Like, it's not great, you know?
yeah,
Or like Hamzat Chimaev, who's landing 500, what was it, 550 something strikes and only 37
37 of
of them
them
are
were
significant.
significant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Like, we're talking about pace fighters who their pace is what leads to a finish and has good finishing instincts. Charles is not exactly that way, but he's right on the cusp of that. I mean,
mhm,
Justin Gaethje is that way. Rafael dos Anjos was that way. Just a
yeah.
pace fighter that led to a finish. That might be the most exciting style. Uh,
Yeah,
is finding
now that you
someone like
make
that.
that, I'm thinking about all the fighters I've liked and people who were able to fight at a pace like even like Junior Dos Santos, who like was a heavyweight but still punched and like with pace and with like combination work that was unique for a heavyweight I liked at the time.
Yeah, I mean, Cain Velasquez, one of the most
Kane
overrated
too.
heavyweights of all time, um, was widely regarded mostly because of his pace. And I hear you all two of you, yelling in the comment section, being upset that I called Cain overrated. But we'll have that as a podcast episode for later. Um, but yeah, like that level of pace.
Yeah.
It's partly what made Ronda Rousey so successful. With
Yeah.
despite the fact that she had negative white belt boxing, like, it like, just the pace she put on people frightened them,
Yeah.
um, and that made her fights entertaining, uh, yeah,
You would
so
al At least in her early
yeah,
days, you would always count down how long will it take for her to just get, you know, a head and arm throw and just take that girl down to the ground for an arm bar. Like, you would
yeah,
always count how long would it take. It wasn't
yeah,
that long. It usually wasn't that long.
yeah. One, it's what holds back the entertaining style of like, I love Jose Aldo, I put him as my pound for pound number 1 greatest, uh
Yeah, yeah.
right? I love Jose Aldo, but he was not a pace fighter, and that's what made a couple of his fights, even his wins, real stinkers, real stinky doo doo fights, because he just took his foot off the gas, and it's like I want to watch somebody put their foot on the gas and lead to a finish.
Mhm.
That's the most entertaining type of fighter. Which leaves us with Max Holloway as the last of the Mohicans. He's the real motherfucker out there. Um, yeah, yeah. All right, Colin. Well, is that it?
Yeah.
Is there anything else to talk about?
I mean, not really. We've got to fight this weekend. Maybe we'll talk about it on our
Do
next
we?
episode. Yeah, isn't that this weekend? Kyle Bahalio?
No, that's
Oh
next
no,
weekend.
that's 2 weekends. Oh, okay. We have a
Yeah,
weekend off.
yeah,
Look at that. That's nice.
yeah. So we'll have to come up with another one, and we'll do like a more robust topic for
All
our
right, all
next
right.
one.
We'll take some time to think about it.
Yeah. Anyway, well, this has been Two Fight Fans podcast. As much as we've said, don't be a fight fan of MMA, we continue to be MMA fight fans and fight sports fight fans. So I don't know, you know,
We're
fuck
just
no,
hypocrites over here.
yeah. I'm one fight fan, Stuart.
I'm the other hypocrite, Colin.
Watch LH Warrior, watch Josh Van. Don't watch Johnny Walker. Let's all agree to boycott Johnny Walker fights. All right, everybody. Bye.
Bye bye.